Hello, it's Phillip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. Today I'm delighted to be able to introduce you to a book that I found very interesting. I was asked to review it by the actual editor of the book, Andrew Clapham, who I have got to know from other publications, because Andrew has produced work on human rights. This one, the book I'm looking at today, is called BRIERLY'S Law of Nations. It's been around a long time. And in fact it's the 7th edition I'm looking at, which came out in August 2012, so it's a little old now, but it's an introduction to the role of international law in international relations. It's been written by Andrew Clapham, comes to us from OUP. Elizabeth and I looked at the book and we gave, for our book review title, the following: A Very Favoured Law Book for Students of International Law. And that's exactly what it is. And I looked at some of the comments about the book and I was favourably impressed as well, if I can say it. Here's the book. It's a very small one, paperback. There's the spine, and then on the back there's some commentary. There we go, you can see that. It runs to 500 pages. There's the index at the back. The index is by page numbering, so it's easy to find. At the front, you can find anything basically in this. There's the front page there. Then there's a preface to the original first edition, which of course is quite old. Goes back quite a long way to February 1928. So very shortly we will be having a 100th anniversary. Obviously it's 90 years next year. I'm recording this in 2017, at the beginning of 2017. This is the preface to the 7th edition, which Andrew has written. And then we get into acknowledgments, and then after that we get into a very useful little set of abbreviations there. And then some case law, of course, naturally, and various other things. Treaties, of course, when all the usual suspects are there, statutory instruments, national or statutes and so forth. And then we get into the book itself, which starts here with the origins of international law, the rise of modern states. And that, you can see how it is. It's a small book, this one. It's not an A4 size book, but there are footnotes, as you can see at the bottom. And there is a certain amount of numbering so that you can see how the numbering is actually done. It is paragraph numbering of a sort, but it's just a number with a subhead, and it runs through that way, and the book runs all the way through in that particular way. Okay, so what do we say about the book? It's a short review I've done on this one. Teachers and students of international law, we think, have been known to refer to BRIERLY'S Law of Nations as their favourite law book, and who can blame them? Picking it up for the first time, you find it immediately attracts. It's compact, concise and erudite. Above all, it's distinguished among other law books for its clarity and simplicity of expression. No convoluted phrases or impenetrable arguments here, and here it is, in an extensively updated edition from Oxford University Press, OUP. The first sentence is as good an example of any as of why the book never fails to compel. Quote, "Ever since human beings began to organise their common life in political communities," it explains, "they have felt the need of some system of rules, however rudimentary, to regulate their inter-community relations." So that starts the ball rolling. No doubt about it, once you've read this, you're hooked. With a pedigree that goes back to 1928, it's not surprising that the book has acquired an established reputation as the standard introduction to international law texts, and during this time has no doubt enthralled generations of students. And in producing this edition, and it's the first since Humphrey Waldock's 6th edition in 1963, author Andrew Clapham has sought to preserve Brierly's critical voice. The aim, he says, is to help Brierly explain again the role of international law in international relations, and with him to demystify the operation of international law today, and I think he succeeds in that. Now, throughout its 500 or so pages, and it is a small book, so it's obviously it's heavy-ish, but not too heavy, the book reveals, as the author explains, the tension between state interests and certain values relating to human dignity, as well as contemporary awareness of international community, which it is hoped will continue to increase. Certainly, I would accept that. There is thought-provoking commentary, of course, throughout on, for example, territory, jurisdiction, treaties, international dispute resolution, and the maintenance of international peace and security. Such institutions as the UN and the International Criminal Court are also discussed, and it's important to note the extensive table of cases which I showed you, which are at the front, plus of course the tables of treaties, international instruments, national legislation, and so forth, all of which very much in the house style of OUP. Let me conclude by saying that international law scholarship has burgeoned in the last 50 years, in the view of Andrew Clapham. Don't disagree with that at all. And it's fortunate that this classic text has been rendered brilliantly up to date by our current scholars to create a readable and authoritative work of reference for general readers as well as lawyers and law students. And I'd like to thank Andrew and OUP as well for taking on the mantle of continuing to publish this book. There it is, Oxford, BRIERLY'S Law of Nations, 7th edition. Just to open it again, right in the middle we're looking here at jurisdiction. See the structure. It's not a difficult book to read. It's one you can put in your pocket. You do have the footnoting. This is all about the various articles. So the footnotes are there very much to justify some of the statements that are made. And as I say, just at the back, it's a relatively short index, mainly dealing with individual names of people who've been influential within international law itself and the law of nations. There it is. Thank you very much to Andrew and OUP and everybody involved. It's excellent, and I'm sure it'll be a wonderful boon for anybody involved in this particular area as they embark on their undergraduate studies. Thank you to all. Bye-bye.